Everyone, it's Jen here. I am doing a collective reading for anyone who finds this for the new moon in Capricorn, and that is on today. That's right, that's why I'm doing it, because it's today. It could have happened last night, honestly. I didn't even look at the time, but that's okay. We're just going to do a reading, see if we can get some of the energies going on for everyone, and see what comes up. We'll get one more and then we'll, keep pulling cards. Nice. So the Six of Cups already flipped out, and we do have a Mercury retrograde starting in the middle of the month, which means the shadow period is starting sometime right about now. And also, that's really reminding me because this is not the only new moon in January. We have a new moon on the 31st in Aquarius. So it's like there are two opportunities this year. This month, two new moons to get something started. So, and this came up in the New Year pick a card reading I did. That's up for everyone. Is that it was like, sorry, my brain just went off on something I should do for the channel, and I completely was doing two different things at once. So that may happen. Your mind may wander. It was a very Aquarian thought too. I mean, it wasn't that crazy, but it was something new and different that I hadn't thought of doing before. And that's what Aquarius is all about. But so it's almost like you get a soft launch maybe, or some kind of do-over, mulligan, whatever term you want to use for that, regarding something in your life in January. So maybe you run into someone that you had a thing for and it goes really well, but you don't really do anything to further to make plans to see each other again or to move it forward. And then maybe you do run into them. And I feel like this could be happening to both of you. You both be having like, I should have said something, I should have done something, and you didn't, but then you see each other again and it's on. Like neither of you are going to allow that that opportunity to pass again, right? What else am I getting? So there, you could have met someone on New Year's Eve. I'm seeing fireworks. And that's what came to mind. That's going to be the bottom. But with the Six of Cups, it's much more likely to be someone that you already know. Or that you've, who knows, it could be an old coworker. And okay, so maybe in that first meeting, you find out that they're single now. And you always thought there was you always had a connection with this person, but they were, in a relationship or whatever, so it just wasn't ever a possibility. And now it is. And maybe you froze a little, or they froze a little, because you kind of had that realization. But maybe you get together and it seems more like friends and you're kicking yourself, something like that, where you're sort of kicking yourself or they're kicking themselves for not sort of making it known that they did not want this to just be a friend thing. Like it's a date. Like I feel like one of you will go out of their way to make sure that the other person knows they're thinking of it as a date pretty early on, because there's some real feelings or passion or both going on here. Let me put this, actually, let me light this candle. One moment, please. Talk amongst yourselves. What else am I getting? Yeah, this is going to be kind of stupid puppy love. Not puppy love, no, that's the wrong word. It's going to be, intensely passionate and just really kind of googly eyed over each other. So there just is, I guess, some sort of, um, if you're older, you might be like, oh, this is kind of embarrassing. Like, this is something young, can't keep your hands off each other. Just, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm talking about, I think. And it makes you feel young again with this Page of Cups. However, this relationship is being approached with a level of maturity here. This is, I mean, it could be if you're young. I mean, if you're watching the channel and you're really young and you've never been through it, and this is your first love, sure. But I'm getting for a lot of the people that it's, you guys have both been through it. So when you come into this relationship, you're not just repeating the same things over and over again. You're consciously thinking about it and communicating and discussing things just very sort of organically, because you're just at an age where you're like, should I not talk about this? Oh, I don't want them to think that, you're like, if this is a snowball chance in hell, then we need to make sure we know how you stand on all these issues. Like, not that abruptly, but it's just so kind of practical. It could be an earth sign. Definitely be a fire sign. It really could be any. I mean, it's going to be whatever your equivalent of a really passionate person is or a really grounded person is. And depending on what perspective you're looking from, so, it doesn't necessarily have to be that, that person has to be that sign, but it's like that you're going to, oh, that's so interesting. Of course, we all see each other differently, and depending on what we're hyper focused to or most in tune with, or sometimes we like things in people that we think we're lacking ourselves. Those things tend to stand out about people more than others. But for everyone else, they might see people in a different way. Where am I going with that? Okay, I guess that's all I have to say. Let's pick up this card, New Moon. Yeah, moving on. Moving from just really this year going into the year where I'm not going to sit in situations that are toxic or just extremely distressing or anxiety producing. I am not staying in them. I'm moving to calmer waters. I want peace and serenity in my life. And this could be why approaching a new relationship, it's like, it's you can't not, because it's the attraction, the connection is just ridiculous. But at the same time, there's a real that even though it's really hot and passionate in the honeymoon period, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw the Knight of Wands. There's still a very maybe Capricorn voice in the back of your head saying, yeah, this is great, but keep things in perspective, keep things in mind, keep asking questions, get ready to get ready to flee at any moment. But I think I'm joking. I think it's more of, that's okay if it doesn't, if it takes a turn or there's red flags or whatever, I can move on. Like, I'm not, it's like the desperation of having a relationship is gone. You don't need it, so you're not going to stay in it if it's not healthy. Because there maybe some of you are leaving a relationship and that's how it started, or this is the past relationship. But this is jealousy, competition. Someone may have had a temper. It's also, I mean, it is a positive card as well. These people are practicing, they're exercising, they're in training. So maybe, okay, so maybe you meet this person, if this is a new person, um, out doing some sort of activity you like to do. It could be studying. I mean, it could be anything that you're learning and practicing or, yeah, trying to get better at. It could be, okay, it could be someone you went to school with or that you've had a similar interest with in or used to play with when you were younger. You could be going home, like to your hometown, or they could feel like home. The Hierophant. So there is a marriage, so you guys both could be divorced, or one of you could be divorced with children. One of you could be in the middle of a divorce, and that's what all the Five of Wands is going on. And the Six of Swords, you're moving on. So maybe, too, you meet this person and you're, oh, sorry, ow, I hurt my back and I just need to adjust my position. Sorry, old, hashtag old lady. Um, Yeah, so one of you could be going through it with a divorce and wanting to keep it low key and out under the radar. Or maybe, okay, so maybe you kind of meet and the person's like, "Yeah, I'm getting divorced, but it's kind of coming, it's almost done." And you're like, "Why don't you finish that?" Like, why don't you finish that and then we'll get together once it's cleanly done and there's just I don't want any drama. Doing things in a more traditional way. Someone could be applying to college or hearing about getting into college or some sort of program that's very competitive. So if you had a child that was trying to get into like an Ivy, or they just had this school that they really really wanted to go to, I think they'll get in, or you, whoever this is for. It doesn't necessarily have to be happening to you, but it could be of importance in if it's something that you've been thinking about. Okay, let's go with the next deck and see what builds or if there's something new or Ten of Wands. So getting rid of burdens, that goes really well with the Six of Swords. Sometimes in a divorce, especially if you have kids, it sometimes seems, for me, it was easier to do it by myself than to try to do everything and also had to watch and make sure someone else was being diligent. I don't know. I don't need to get into that, but I, I think this, whatever this movement is, doesn't have to be a divorce. It could be leaving a big corporation and you just want to, maybe you want to move out of the city. There's too much competition. There's too much infighting. Maybe, management can't get their heads out of their ass. And maybe you move home. Maybe you downsize. Maybe you move to the country. Maybe you just move somewhere or you take a job where it's just less stressful. And you're really going into the new year with this new moon saying, I have to let go of things that are not my responsibility. I need to shed baggage that is not helping me, that no longer is serving me on my path. If you were literally walking, or I know my brother lives abroad, and so they have, when they have to travel, they can't really bring furniture. They can't bring big things with them when they move, when they're overseas. It just doesn't, it's too expensive and stuff. Um, yeah, just taking what you need, having what you need, and then everything else is a want. So that could be with relationships. Like, I don't need a relationship, but I will take one as long as it doesn't add to my burden. This is very gender stereotypical, but there's a study that say when men get married, their lives improve, and when women get married, I'm assuming it's a heterosexual couple, their lives get harder. I don't know why that's coming up. Uh, um, but that may be how, obviously, that is, I know that is not the way it always is. I know tons of wonderful um, men and dads and stuff. So, but that could be how that could have been your specific situation, and that's how you're feeling. I guess I feel like while it may feel overwhelming, like things may get harder, in the long run they get easier. I'm wondering if I should cut that out because I think someone's going to take offense and I'm going to get all sorts of nasty grams. So let me see, 16, 10, cut, talking. We'll see if I do it or not. So afraid to say anything. I don't know, that is probably bad though. Okay, here's that passion coming in. Look at, we go from, and I'm not necessarily reading these in pairs, but it's catching my eye. But we go from um, fighting to everyone all going together in the same direction, working together. This is a very passionate card. This could be, again, that love story, that honeymoon period coming in. Lots of heat and passion and messages and movement. This could be hearing that you're definitely moving. You definitely got the job, the house, the apartment, whatever it is. And it's all systems go. And it can be kind of an unsettling energy depending on your comfort zone with change. So, but we are in a cardinal, I mean, we're in Capricorn. Oh, here's my handy wheel that came with this tarot bag. I'm going to use it as, let's see, Capricorn, December 22nd till January 19th. Then we go into Aquarius. And this new moon, though, is in Capricorn, which is a cardinal sign. So it's time to get going. It's going to be just oh shit, I actually have to move can be overwhelming, but it's what you want. So it's kind of like sitting in those feelings and going, yeah, yep, there's a lot to do, there's a lot to pack, but it's going to be okay. It's going to be worth it, and just pushing through. That's what a Capricorn would do. Queen of Swords. There's definitely probably a divorce. I'm just going to say that, okay? Or it's not going to be a surprise. You're going to know about it. Like it's in it. It's happening. I think more that it's wrapping up and going to give you kind of this whole new blank slate. Like, where do I want to live? Now that's a little trickier if you have kids, right? Because you'll probably want to stay where they can be close to both parents, but maybe there's an opportunity you can't pass up or whatever. Just settling in. I think it really enjoying settling into this new life and realizing it's a blank slate and a fresh opportunity to just go back and go, what do you want? What do you want? Where do you want to go? What are the things you felt like you were being held back? And I also think you don't plan at all on meeting someone right away because mentally, intellectually, you're like, yeah, that can't do a rebound, whatever. I don't think you're going to be able to stop yourself. Like it's right behind you. It's coming. I don't know which way these go. It's coming right at you. Like these arrows here. That's the way I want. These arrows are just shooting. They're coming. You don't see it coming, but they're coming this new person is coming in, this new opportunity. It doesn't have to be a relationship, is coming in. Wow. Like Peter said, the magician. To me, the magician is most associated with the fire signs, even though he's on a giant pentacle, but he has all the elements. That's the whole point. All the eight, basically, if you wrap all the aces together, they make up the magician card. So, new beginnings in love, new beginnings in your thinking, new beginnings in your how you earn your money, where you live, even your spiritual self. What didn't I do? Wands. Sorry. Well, that's passion, that's mojo, that's energy, that's enthusiasm, that's, yeah, all of those. You're feeling kind of all the feels, as I'm sure the kids do not say anymore. But I want to talk a little bit more about the magician. So, this is the ultimate manifestation card. This is you moving forward, making those changes. So, really, I just guess I already said this, but I just want to go back to everything's on the table. What do you want? And allowing yourself to be excited and to look forward and to really think about it and really go big. Like nothing's off the table. Don't allow it. So it might be a nice idea to grab a journal and just allow yourself to write. This is so stupid. I live only with my 15-year-old son, and I'm afraid to like write stuff in notebooks, what I really want, because I don't know, he's not going to read it. He doesn't care. And the funniest thing is he's dyslexic. We're very open about it. And he wouldn't even try to read it. Like it would just be, especially with my crazy handwriting, kids don't learn cursive. And so he would have no desire to do that. So why, like, what are you holding back from? I feel like maybe some of you do that. Like, oh, I want to live in Europe. Well, why the fuck not? Like, it's your one life. Oh, I'm such a hypocrite because I say these things and then I don't do much of anything. I did when I was younger. So maybe that's it. Well, I have to wait for the kids. See, that's exactly what happens in my mind. But even if the timing isn't right, why not just really, because then once it's in writing, you're more apt to do things, right? And you can look at it and who knows, maybe you see something in it or you read it at the other next new moon. And then you can go, okay, what did I implement any of these things, or what new seeds were being planted in me? Because maybe you just know you have now this restless energy to do, to create, to manifest, to move forward, but you don't really know what it is. And you just write down all these thoughts. But then on the 31st of Aquarius of January, you can look back and you've been sitting in with it long enough, and we do have Mercury retrograde, so there you may need to revisit some things, rethink some things, revise some things, all the re's, and then you're ready to launch. You're ready, So that's kind of that double, that mulligan, that second chance I was talking about. To make equal the equator. What's coming up is depending on where you live in the world. This is a total aside, and this is not. I'm not trying to mansplain. I know. I know. We all know. We all know this, but it's that even my friend who lives outside of New York City. I'm way up by the Canadian border in Vermont. It stays lighter out longer in the wintertime. But at the equator, day and night is equal, basically all year round for the most part. So it's kind of, I don't know, the equator to make equal, right? Equal parts. Okay, so here's the aside. Some of you, this is very, may, like, we haven't seen the sun here in a week easily in Vermont. I think it may be peaked out like one afternoon. Um, so you may want to just do some light therapy or some meditation or find a way, get one of those, I just said that, get one of those lights, or this is what I do. Like, if even if it's cold out here, if it's a sunny day, and I hate the sun in the summer, I hide from the sun the rest of the year. But in the winter, I will just bundle up and I will go sit on my deck in the sun and just, even for an hour or two, if I can stand it, and just feel that sunlight on my face. It really does make a big difference. Or even if it's really cold, I'll sit in front of a window. Just sit in front of the window and let the sun hit me. So if you can find a way to do that. Okay, now I'm going back to this person you're going to meet. Oh, maybe going to an aquarium. I don't know how crowded or how safe those things are. Wear your mask. Um, yeah, I'm seeing the aquarium I've been to the most is the Boston Aquarium. So that's what I'm picturing. But so maybe that's a date you would go on with this person. But that, oh, sorry, I'm all over the place. Uh, I'm allowing more channeling to happen. Usually I do that without separate, but that for light for therapy, that could be really good just to, because I don't know, there's something about the aquarium lights. I know it's darker in there, but there's something about the mood of it, the water. Maybe you need to be near salt water. So taking saltwater baths, doing meditations, something with lights, and really actively creating an environment that you have more equaler. I don't think that's a word. Day and night, whichever. So wherever you are in the world. Um, you the person that comes in, because I did get that sense that one person really carried way more weight if this was a past relationship, and that maybe was the issue, one of the main issues. It just felt so imbalanced, and perhaps this new person you meet, it's the same way, and you're both conscious about um, helping out, but also discussing things like what. Let's talk about cooking and doing the dishes. Like if you're moving in together, you could be moving in together. This could be financial easement. Less anxiety because you're not worried about as much money. You could move in very quickly together. Sorry, I'm just letting it go as it comes. So this seems all over the place, but um, okay, it went out of my head. Let's read from the book. 5 is the Hierophant again. I don't think they're I mean they're it's not supposed to be that card, but we have another 5. Oh, and that's a 5. So we have 2 5s, 2 6s. The equator. To make equal, find the balance in your life. Equality among people is a worthy goal. You are worth it. Do not compare yourself to others, as this is a useless task that only leads to unhappiness. There can be a happy medium. There doesn't have to be an extreme reaction all the time. Interesting. The equator is the center or equal point of any spherical planet or body, including the Earth. It is the midway point between the geographical poles. Now the book's mansplaining. On Earth, the equator is about 40,000 kilometers long, of which 78% lies across water and 20% over land. Okay, that's interesting. Importantly, the equator assists with navigation and mapping, as it is the major latitude line Our Earth, our planet Earth bulges a little at the equator. So do I. The average diameter of Earth is 12,750 kilometers, but the diameter about at the equator is 43 kilometers, greater than the poles. Because of the lack of tilt, the temperature at the equator does not change much according to the seasons and remain at close balance. The equator passes through countries such as Indonesia, Uganda, Gabon, I'm sure I said that wrong, yikes, Kenya, Somalia, Ecuador, Brazil, and the oceans of the Pacific, Atlantic, and Indian. When we seek equality, the energy of the equator is a powerful addition to our workings. It's an element of fire. What's this now? No shit. Okay, I remember I was getting strong passion and fire. This person, they may be passionate, or the connection brings out the passion in you. Or with the magician, you're learning something new. You can't see it there. You're learning something new. You're fired up about something. You have your mojo back, your passion back, your excitement back. And that, that's great. And that goes with new beginnings, right? So here's another 8. We have 2 8s now. Let's see what the book has to say. Fire, ignition. Live your passion. Allow your spirit to drive you forward. Don't overthink the situation. Now is the time to innovate and take action. Be a lighthouse for others or find yourself a mentor. It is said that Prometheus was asked by Zeus to create man. Humans were formed with clay made of water and earth and fashioned into the god's image, unlike other animals. However, these new beginnings seemed quite helpless. No fur, no big teeth, few skills. He felt sorry for mankind and asked Zeus if fire could be given to them. He knew that the fire would allow men to grow and thrive and be totally transformational to their life and survival. Stealing it meant that all arts and skills would only blossom with fire, and mankind would grow stronger with fire when used for cooking and warmth. Prometheus crept into Zeus's own hearth and, lighting a small flame within the stalk of giant fennel, took the fire and escaped. He gave mankind the small fiery spark that others have been lit from. While man prospered, he did not. Prometheus did not. So precious was fire to Zeus that he was given to the grisly perpetual punishment of Zeus's own eagle, eating out his liver daily, having it grow back overnight, and then the whole thing start again the next day. Fire is an element of profound significance. We cook with it, transforming things from inedible to edible. It provides light and protection, and was the difference between freezing or not freezing. We burn incense and plant medicines for pleasure, healing. I think they mean getting high. Yes, I know I'm like 12 years old. We hold fire so sacred that perpetual flames were part of the honoring of many deities throughout time the world over. The fire element is one that motivates and inspires us. It is action-oriented and light, so those who like to utilize the fire element are innovative and quick thinkers, and they get things done. Fire is linked with love and passion and is often used as an element of magic and spells to attract such a partner. It traditionally corresponds with the element east, although in the southern hemisphere it is aligned with north. Whew. I just got something and it went out of my brain. What was I just getting? Okay, manifesting. Let's go back to manifesting. This new moon, right? If you are looking for whatever you're hoping to manifest, sorry, I have to adjust again at my back. it's something about writing it down is really, really important to me. Start getting your thoughts down on paper. The Queen of Swords would absolutely get things down on paper. It's going to increase and no, supplement or help your creativity to have things written down. Um, did you hear my stomach? So say you're trying to manifest love, okay? Writing down those qualities. And I think you'll know if you're approaching relationships from a more mature place, if you're writing down qualities versus physical attributes. I mean, hey, put down the physical attributes too. Um, Everyone thinks that, but make sure there's, ways of them acting, or even further philosophies. Like if you are someone that's spiritual and actively um, tries to keep things positive and be grateful and let things go, and if you have a certain flow to your life and this person is, you're going to want someone that has some knowledge and understanding and consciously thinks of those things, or else you may be out of flow with them. Out of flow. You might just want someone that can go with the flow. With this Five of Wands, maybe, or any situation where it was just sort of infighting and offices. It's amazing how the different offices can have. Um, and just wanting an atmosphere that is like the Six of Swords, just more peaceful and calm. So I see that being, it's like peaceful and calm, but having that gives you all of a sudden you have all this energy when your energy isn't being drained by difficult people or situations, and unburdening yourself from things that are not yours to carry. Right there, you're going to have a lot more energy. You may also be working out a lot. A lot of people do that around the new year, or you're. I did not just start working out, I work out all the time and I still hurt myself, so be careful. Um, but you may be lifting heavier weights, starting to run, like really starting to see those results in shedding pounds too, if that's something that you're trying to become healthier or whatever your goal is. There may be a prediction that helps you move forward. She has all these tarot cards. So maybe you hear something on, if you watch readers on YouTube, obviously you do, but it doesn't have to be me, other readers as well. There may just be something that hits just right. And if you get one of those per reading, I think that's a hit when we're doing these general readings. That's a big deal. And it just may hit you, or it could be a song lyric, something a little kid says behind you at the grocery store that just sort of a little bit of a judgment attitude, like snaps, just all of a sudden something comes into your head like a download, and you're just like, yeah, well, wait a minute, what am I doing? Or why not do that? Or why am I tolerating this? Or why am I staying here if I hate it here? Or, whatever it is, I need to get back into that thing that I loved. I need to start doing the things I love. Why am I waiting? I need to manifest things. So the Eight of Wands and the Magician, you're ready to, and the Fire, I mean, you're ready to move forward. Definitely an auspicious time. And I know it's Mercury retrograde. Um, it happens, good 3 times a year. So you're going to get, to me, just a second chance, or um, double opportunity for a fresh beginning. So don't get discouraged if something doesn't go 100% the way you want to, or isn't confirmed at the beginning, because I